Hey everybody, Drew here, Director of Student Ministries here at Cop Prairie. I hope that you are all having a wonderful week as we are getting prepared for Christmas that is coming next Friday. It's truly going to be amazing. I hope you guys all have some good plans that you're going to do, and I really hope you enjoy this season. As you know, we've been going through this series called Merry Christmas to Me. So today we're going to jump into week 3 of that, and we're just going to get going. So, question for you. What are some of your biggest Christmas opinions? I know one of mine is, I don't think Christmas music should be played until the week of Christmas, and only the week of Christmas. Outside of that, it just gets too much. It becomes too many things, and it's just kind of obnoxious if it's more than that. Let's be honest. Here's another one for you. What about a Christmas tree? Real or fake? Which one's better? You know, both have their pros and cons. Real smells good. It's also a fire hazard. Fake, you don't have to spend a bunch of money. You don't have to buy a new one every year like you do with a real one. But there's just something about having a real tree in your house that makes a huge difference. Now, here is something I can tell you though. Either way, a nice, beautiful decorated tree, real or fake, is amazing. It's awesome. And that's all we can say about it. Now, when we think about all these things, like the gifts we get, the season, the tree, the music, all of that, Christmas is special. We always think about it. We always look forward to it. And a big reason Christmas is special is because of this. It's because it's temporary. I don't think Christmas would be as special as if we did it all year, if we celebrated it all year long. It wouldn't be Christmas. It'd be something completely different. Here's the thing, though. I think this can be said when it comes to worshiping the birth of Jesus. I'm guilty as charged on this, so I'm going to say that before I do it. But I think majority of the time when it comes to the birth of Jesus, we don't think about it. We look by it unless it's Christmas season, unless it's the time to do that. So today, starting this lesson, I want to give you a challenge. I want you to think of different ways that you can make the miracle of Jesus' birth last longer than the Christmas season. Now, as you know, we've been going through these characters in this Bible story of Jesus' birth. First, we started with Mary and Joseph. Last week, we did the shepherds. This week, we're going to introduce a new set of characters, the wise men. Now, here's our question for you. We all know the wise men got Jesus some gifts. What would you have gotten Jesus? If you ask me, I have no idea what I'd get him. I mean, it's hard to find a perfect gift for my mom. I couldn't even imagine doing it for Jesus. You know, the guy who ends up dying for us and saving our lives and all of that. That's crazy. That's insane. But the wise men did. But we'll get to those gifts in a minute. Let's take a minute and we'll talk about who these wise men are. In Matthew 2, 1 through 7, we get a little bit of information about the wise men. It's not a lot. It's just a little bit. We don't know much about these wise men. But here's a few things I can tell you about them. One, they were scholars. They were smart. They were wise. Very brilliant. 2, they somehow knew to find out where Jesus was. I don't know why, but they did know. I don't know how, but they did know. They were dedicated. They were willing to walk thousands of miles following a star just to find Jesus. And lastly, they brought some pretty expensive gifts. So as I said, we'd get back to those gifts in a minute. Now let's talk about those. So in Matthew 2, 11 through 12, it comes to this moment where these wise men finally meet Jesus. Now, when we think about it, we think about worship in different ways. And these wise men giving these gifts was how they decided to worship Jesus. Now, it wasn't like a big, huge thing. They didn't start singing their favorite Christmas song and all of that. They did it differently. These gifts were their form of worship. The wise men came with 3 gifts. First of those was gold. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. It's gold. The second one was frankincense. Frankincense... one thing about gold before we move to frankincense is it was a gift for a king. Gold was. Now frankincense. Now, frankincense was kind of like a resin. It was made for, I guess, kind of like a sap or something like that is what it was. But frankincense was used in making medicine a lot. It was used for perfumes and medicine to help people heal. Frankincense was the gift for a god. And then there was myrrh. Myrrh was kind of like frankincense, but made from a different plant, and it was a gift made for more for perfume, but it was made for a gift to someone who was going to die, typically. Now, that sounds pretty crazy and pretty morbid, but when you think about it, these wise men gave 3 gifts, and these 3 gifts meant a lot. Because one, these 3 seeds were one for a king, saying this Jesus, he was going to be a king. He was meant to be a king, he was meant to rule. The second, the frankincense, says it was meant for a god. Someone, it's pretty obvious, a god. I don't even know how to explain it. It's stating that 1, God was a king, 2, Jesus was a god, and 3, the last one, the one that's kind of iffy for me, a gift that is typically meant for someone who was going to die. But this gift ended up being something meaning more than just someone who was going to die. But these wise men were acknowledging the fact that someday Jesus was going to die for all of us. Now, these wise men, when they gave their gifts, they gave gifts that meant worship. For them, that's what it was. They came in a mindset of worship, acknowledging that God was king, Jesus was God, and that one day he would die and save us all. Now, I'll ask you again. What gift would you have gotten Jesus that day? For me, I still don't have an answer. That's hard. I have to take some time and really think about it. But here's the thing. The wise men gave their gifts that meant worship. So as you think about what gift you would have gotten Jesus, I really hope that you put that into thought. What gift would you have gotten Jesus, and how would it have worshipped him? I just hope you have a blessed week. I hope you have an amazing Christmas. I hope you get the gifts you want, but I also hope you get to take some time and really focus on the reason for the season, which is Jesus himself. But I also hope you find a way to make those thoughts about Jesus last longer than this Christmas season. I hope you have a blessed Christmas. Have a good week.